Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I like to promote happiness. I like to help people become happier, and the way that I do that is through helping people to become stronger mentally. Mental strength will set you free. Mental strength has done everything for me in my life as far as to help me overcome depression, anxiety, addiction, PTSD, anger issues. You have to ask yourself, what's the most important thing to me? Just overall, what's the most important thing to me? What's the most important thing? Most people will say the happiness of myself and my family. That overarches everything. Everything else comes after that. In order for you to be happy, you really want to check your beliefs. Are your beliefs making you unhappy? And what do I mean? People are questioning, what does that mean? Are your beliefs, for example, in politics? Let's start with that one. Are your beliefs in politics keeping you from being happy? You know, it came into my mind earlier because I was talking with someone in my family, and I hadn't talked to them in a while, and you know, you have the usual conversation. We're on the phone and we have the usual conversation. How you been? What have you been up to? That kind of thing. And the first thing that came out of their mouth was how depressed they were over the state of the Union, the state of America, as if our country is in utter turmoil and as if it's up in flames. Everything is on its head. And that's bringing this person down. It's making their life miserable. They're really upset about it all day, all night. Now, this person lives in a very wealthy neighborhood in a giant house. They have a great job, make tons of money. Garage full of cars. They're going on 3 or 4 different vacations coming up soon. All to luxury locations, staying in luxury hotels. The guy's got a great life. So, I don't understand when somebody lets their beliefs, their political beliefs, ruin their life like that. How you could all of a sudden see nothing but darkness and despair. How you can just see this country on fire as if we're just, one news story away from civil war. When you go down to your local restaurant and everybody's just eating happy, you go to your neighbor's house, you walk down your street, and people are watering their lawn, everything is just basically fine. It's more important to me to be happy than it is for me to clutch to my political beliefs. It's more important to me to focus on what's going on in my life so I can be helpful to my family and to the people in my community than to give up all that power. You have a lot of power in your happiness. Happy people are powerful people. And to give up all that, to live in a state of depression, hide out in your house, become a prisoner to your own mental state. Because that's how I see it. I was talking with a buddy of mine's son the other day. I was over his house, and he's got teenage boys, and one of them's 16 years old, just got his driver's license, and I was talking to him about driving around. It's an exciting thing, feels very liberating when you just get your license. I remember what it was like for me when I first got my license. And how happy I was. I could take chicks out on dates instead of having to take them out on the bus or the subway. It's not a very good way to impress a girlfriend when you take her on a date on the subway. You finally drive her somewhere. So I was asking him questions about that kind of stuff. Not about his dating life, just about driving. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was how terrified he was of the police pulling him over and killing him. And he was very upset about this. Very upset. He doesn't want to drive. He only got the license because his parents pushed him into it, and he's terrified to even go out on the roads. He's terrified to be pulled over and murdered by the cops. And I asked him, this kid's not a criminal. When I was 16, I was a hardcore criminal, committing major felonies. Major crimes at 16. I was far too advanced for a 16-year-old. I was part of gangs, robbery crew, a whole crew of people committing robberies. I could go on and on about how terrible my teenage years was, how awful I was. This kid's not that way. He's a good boy. I don't think he's ever done anything wrong in his life. I asked him, have you ever been pulled over before in a car with your parents? No. He's never experienced being pulled over. So then where does that fear come from? It comes from television, from the news, from the beliefs of his parents, from just the vibe that's going on around right now that people of color will get murdered by the cops if you get pulled over. This is the argument of systemic racism, that whites don't have to worry about this. And every single person of color does. Every time they get pulled over, their lives are in danger. This is a belief. And it's ruining this kid's first chance to go out and experience the kind of adulthood liberation that a 16-year-old should experience when they first get their license. To be able to take yourself from point A to point B without having your mother with you or your father with you. But he's debilitated. He's terrified. I can see it on his face. I don't want to make him cry. I'm not going to push it. I'm not trying to argue with some little 16-year-old or whatever. It's not my kid. You know, I just say, oh, it's too bad. You know, it's really important to do a personal assessment, to sit down by yourself and really humbly look at your beliefs and to wonder, which beliefs do I have that are holding me back in life? Which beliefs do I have that are making me miserable, that are contributing to my depression, contributing to my anxiety, contributing to panic attacks, contributing to the triggering that I get because of PTSD? What beliefs are bringing me down, making me angry, making me afraid, making me constantly outraged? Which beliefs do I have that are torturing me? The beliefs that you have that are not set in stone. You come up with that shit, you latch onto it, you can easily just let it go. Doesn't mean to be an ostrich with your head in the sand and to ignore what's going on around you. But not everything around you affects you. Sure, people get pulled over and they get beat up. It's happened to me. I got pulled over in Flagstaff, Arizona on a stolen car, and the cops beat my fucking ass out in the middle of the street, and they had me, driver, put your left hand out the window, driver, open the door. Did the whole thing down on my knees in the middle of the intersection. They gang tackled me, stomped me not just into the concrete, but under the concrete, put me in the back of that cop car, and I just looked like fucking shredded cheese. I looked awful. Took me right to jail. I've had that happen to me before. But this kid didn't. Most people haven't. And just because that happened to me, it didn't stop me from driving. I've been pulled over after that and wasn't triggered that, oh man, I'm going to get my ass kicked again. We have to take responsibility for our actions. You have to realize that other people who have stuff happen to them also should take responsibility for their actions. And just because it happened to me doesn't mean it's going to happen to you unless you go steal a car. I can understand how scary it can be navigating this world and being bombarded with all kinds of messages coming into us that are designed to trigger us and to sway us politically in one way or another. I've been victim to this. I'm not impervious to this type of stuff. And there was a few years back, maybe 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I found myself also believing certain narratives that were out there, just in the blogosphere, in social media, on television, in the news. And I found myself really with a, not twisted, but kind of a narrow view of the world, as if you're looking through like a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll. You're really just getting this small little view of it and thinking that everything that I saw that was being fed to me with that narrative somehow affected me personally. And meanwhile, I have a house with a pool in a small town in Florida by the beach, and I was getting affected as if I lived in the Bronx, as if I lived in South Central still, in LA still. Sure, maybe there's politics going on there, but I don't live there no more. Only reason why I'm talking about this type of stuff is because it's important to check ourselves. If you're trying to be happy, that's what I'm trying to do. And if you're not trying to be happy, you're on the wrong channel. All my videos are about trying to figure out ways to be happy and to function properly, to get over depression, to get over what ails you mentally, to make yourself mentally strong. And when we follow like sheep down this road of certain narratives that are designed to make you afraid, designed to make you angry, designed to make you outraged, designed to trigger you in order to get your vote, in order to have you spend your money in a certain way. Corporations are doing this too. This is what the culture wars are all about. It's all about money. It's all about votes. It's all about control and power. And I've fallen victim to this. And it was torturing me, making my life miserable. I also, like my friend that my relative that I was talking to recently, who lives up north, was finding myself just miserable, living this great life. I'm out there on a 78, 80 degree day mowing my lawn in my quiet little neighborhood, tortured, thinking as if it's World War III about to pop off, thinking that it's about civil war is about to pop off. It's more important to see what's in front of you, to live locally. You want to get wrapped up in politics? I suggest you drop the national politics. Take a break from it. Check your beliefs and really question each one of them. Go down the line of all your little political beliefs that you feel like that you want to fight for and wonder, is this worth it? Is this worth my happiness? Are my political beliefs worth my happiness? If it is, then I personally think you have something wrong with your priorities. Because you're choosing to give up your happiness to say, okay, I'm going to live an unhappy life. I'm going to be a miserable piece of shit, which is going to affect your family. It's going to affect your job. It's going to affect everything around you. It's going to affect your health, your immune system, your ability to program properly. It's going to affect your mindset. It's going to affect you, and you're willing to give all that up just because of the goddamn websites that you watch, because of the fucking memes on social media that you love too much, because of what your stupid friends are telling you about what they saw in the news, because of whatever TV show that you watch that's triggering you all the time. Every night you watch it. You're going to give it all up. You're going to give your happiness up. Basically, give up your life. For what? Focus on what's in front of you. Focus on yourself. Focus on your family. Focus on your neighborhood. If we all did that, then the community would be a better place. It's just food for thought. Check your beliefs. Thanks for watching.